Off the crossbar! Goal! And they're trying to deflect off the goal team! Sprint to left field, it's down for a base hit.
Hunterdon Central is going to win the state finals here tonight.
Mark it on the board. Touchdown, Red Devils. On the deflection. On the deflection. Hunterdon Central.
And welcome to Skyland's Conference Gymnastics here from Hunterdon Central Regional High School in Flemington, New Jersey. From the field house, we've got an exciting day. I'm Jim Johnson. I'll be joined shortly by student announcer Tyler Rodriguez and a series of gymnasts throughout the day. As 8 teams participating here in today's Skyland's conference event, led by our host Red Devils, their home facility here in the field house. I know the girls are very excited. Coach Alexa Perez and crew excited to host the Skyland's Conference Tournament once again this year. As we have several schools that are competing and getting ready. In the far end, it was Hillsborough, followed by North Hunterdon. A raucous group right in front of me is the gymnastics team of Bridgewater Raritan. And that's Montgomery at the far end. Montgomery Cougars. And then we've got Somerville Pioneers. And we've got next the Red Devils of Ridge. And finally our host, the Hunterdon Central Red Devils. As we get ready to start the competition here, I'll give off a list of our Hunterdon Central gymnasts this year. And they will be featured as Squad A here at today's rotation. We've got Victoria Alami, Dakota Behringer-Stern, Shadra Burley, Kaylee Culleton, Lauren Easley, Anna Edwards, Peyton Fish, and Taylor Friedrich. Peyton and Taylor are our captains. Then we have Allison Galloway, Brooklyn LaSalle, Hannah Lawrence, Emma Peak, Laurel Reese, Kristen Schmay, Julia Seminaro, Olivia Silber, Anna Sutphin, Danica Svensson, and Isabella Uzon. And now joining me here to help us call the action is Peyton Fish, the captain of the Red Devils. Peyton, welcome. You guys have to be really excited about the opportunity here to compete in this event here in your own facility.
Oh yeah, we are so excited. We've been working so hard all season. Every practice, we're always motivated, cheering each other on, supporting each other, and we really could not have asked for a better season so far. So we're really excited to compete tonight.
What is it about the energy of gymnastics, Peyton? I'm always marveled when I come to watch the event, how you guys just get so into it, rally around your teammates. When does that start? When you were a young girl competing, or, where do you guys find all that energy?
Honestly, when I was younger, cheering wasn't that big, but when you're in high school, doing stuff like this, having meets like this, every team supporting each other, and in high school gymnastics, it's all about supporting each other. It's all about a team. When you're at your club, you're focused on individual scores, not so much your team. But really, when high school is when this really starts, and you start noticing that teamwork makes the dream work.
Teamwork makes the dream work. I've heard that somewhere before, Peyton. So what is it about this team that you like the most? You're a captain now, senior, right? So what is it about the club this year that's impressed you the most?
This year, so we have actually 8 or 9 freshmen on our team, so that's a lot of newcomers. So my job as captain is to, help them, guide them through this season, because this is their first season in high school. They're getting used to being in high school, dealing with high school gymnastics. So really, we want to make it transparent to them that, we're one team. It's not about just each other. It's about ourselves. We have to support each other, be there for each other all the time, motivate each other, and inspire each other to do better every day.
And you mentioned that big group of freshmen. We lost some really solid gymnasts from last year's team. So what goes into replacing that kind of talent that we lost?
Really, you can't replace it. You just got to, take what you have and make it the best you can make it. A lot of our freshmen, Ava Supfin, she is a varsity all-around as a freshman. We actually have a couple of varsity all-around as a freshman, which is a huge accomplishment in high school gymnastics, because even though you're a senior or a junior, that doesn't mean you're going to be on varsity. Really, you have to work your butt off to get on that varsity lineup, show up to practice every day, make practice, great, no matter what, no matter if you're having a bad day, you got to just keep going, keep having motivation.
So you mentioned about the freshmen like Ava coming in. As a senior, when do you know, when you come in, that this girl's got it? She can compete at this level right now.
Really, you can just tell by the skill level, what skills are doing. She does skills that are level 10, which is the highest level you can get in gymnastics. Her form, her difficulty in her routines is just amazing, and just the passion, you can see the passion in her eyes. She really just works hard every day at practice.
So you guys, obviously, this is a year-round sport, right? You don't just do it in the fall and you're done. I know there's a handful of the girls might compete in track or something else, but by and large, you're doing this almost year-round. So I'm guessing a lot of these other students competing from the other schools just from gym competitions, correct?
Yeah, our clubs, there's a club called Paramount, so a lot of the Hillsborough girls, our girls, and even Bridgewater girls go to Paramount. Really, we even support each other in high school when we're together. But yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Well, how cool is it today when you're hosting an event like this, and this is 2 years in a row now for us? How cool is it to have this kind of group of 8 schools coming here to compete?
It's a great feeling. It gives you a lot of adrenaline. It really motivates and inspires your team to do the best that they can. We've been doing consistently good all season, and we just got to keep doing what we've been doing. And, even though we have 8 teams here, we can't let that get to us.
So how the format works today, folks that are watching on the live stream, we've got different groups going on. Central, essentially, like the other teams, will be taking a bye and then competing and so on. So 4 teams are competing at one time, 4 teams are sitting out, and the Lady Red Devils are sitting out this first group. That's why Peyton's here. And we just saw somebody on the beam, and we were talking, I didn't catch it, but quite excited. I guess a good start over there. It's a Bridgewater gymnast, I believe.
Yep.
And now we've got we've got Bridgewater on the beam.
We've got Hillsborough on floor.
Hillsborough's on the floor. And they just finished their routine. So we'll see who we can pick up next as we go along. We'll make sure on the live stream to highlight all of our Central competitors, but we'll try to get a little flavor and taste for some of the other girls. And I'm glad you're here, Peyton, first of all, because my gymnastics knowledge is so-so. So I'm gonna probably defer to you a lot and about what we're looking at and what goes into it. So next up is what are we on right now?
We've got bars going and beam.
Okay. Okay, so right now we've got the beam. And this is Bridgewater, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I believe that is Stephanie.
Okay.
I know she's been competing varsity since I've been in high school gymnastics. I believe she's a strong competitor for them, so it's going to be interesting to see what she does.
Okay. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say if that's Stephanie, it would be Stephanie Lewandowski.
Yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. I've got a roster here. I'm smart like that, Peyton. It's good to have like
Yeah.
notes and names in front of you.
Yeah, she just did a straddle jump and a tuck full on beam, which is very difficult. Straddle jumps, you can easily split the beam, which is very painful. So it's very impressive that she does that.
So who would you say on the beam is our best competitor?
Well, Taylor's got some pretty difficult skills that will be shown later when we compete. She overall has the most difficult routine, but really, it depends on the day. Overall, our beam is very consistent, not a lot of falls, knock on wood. And we hope to just keep that consistency throughout this meet.
So back to Stephanie, since we're watching. If you've got any commentary on anything you see from here, feel free to share.
All right. It looks like she's going to go for a dismount. Round off back tuck. That was a pretty good routine. Doing a round off, landing with 2 feet on the beam at the same time is, pretty difficult in case you're going to split the beam. That's always painful. That's Ella Bambachi on Hillsborough.
Okay.
She just did a back full 1.5 twist, which is very difficult because you have to, always have air awareness on where you are in the air. You have to spot where you're landing. So those are all aspects that are important.
And the music that a gymnast picks for floor. And you said this is Ella Bambachi right now competing. So what goes into that, Peyton?
Really, it depends on the person. Some people like the more artistic and classical music for gymnastics. However, many go with the upbeat and fun music because that can get everybody a chance to have some really interesting dance. You can have some more hip hop music in there. Just like Ella, she's hopping around, doing some pretty interesting moves, which is what the judges like to see. They like to see that you're dancing and having fun on that floor.
So I can already tell by the first 2 competitors that we've been able to show, these girls from other schools. It's a small community in a lot of ways, right?
It is.
So that was Ella Bambachi of Hillsborough that finished up. We're going to go back to the beam, and
I'm not sure.
Not sure. That's a Bridgewater competitor.
Yep. Let's see what she's going to do here. Looks like maybe a leap.
See, it would be helpful for a guy like me if they had numbers on the back, but
yeah. So that was a front walkover. Looks like she's going to connect it to a round off. Yep. So that's overall very impressive because when you're doing forward skills like a front walkover, you cannot see where your feet are going to land on the beam. So you just have to have that awareness in the air and awareness where your legs are in the air so you can properly land on the beam. So that was overall very impressive that she did that and connected it to another flight skill, which is a round off.
And how long, Peyton, does it, and this is obviously an open-ended question, but how long does it take to develop that awareness of where you are?
Really, you should start developing it when, you start doing gymnastics. It's going to take a couple years to get that feeling of where you are in the air, but really when you get to going more difficult skills, you really have to know where you are or else you can get hurt that way. Her last skill was an aerial, which was very impressive because no hands, cartwheel, so that's really impressive.
So that's got to be worth, obviously, extra points to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, all these routines are constructed properly, hopefully properly, so you can, get as many points as you possibly can because the judges are looking for the difficulty. High school gymnastics, you're building up on that difficulty. You get more points for every skill that you do. Some skills are worth more than others. And it's not just about the difficulty, you also have to have good form, which is also what the judges are looking for.
So we've got a Hillsborough girl on the floor right now.
That was a front tuck. So the judges actually could deduct if your second front tuck is lower than the first one, because technically your second front tuck is supposed to be higher than the first one, or else you can get up to 3/10, I believe, in deductions for that.
Okay, interesting.
So, but she looked like it was even. So now that's Ellie Kim for Bridgewater. She's a very strong varsity competitor for them. I think she's going to do back tuck here. That is yet another very difficult skill because again, you're not going to know where you're going to land, and you have to have full commitment to that skill, or else you can get seriously injured.
That was some serious awareness there by
Yeah.
Ella.
Again, you have to be aware of where you are on the beam, if you're tilting more right or left, and immediately try to fix that when you're in the skill, or else, you can go off and miss the beam when you're doing a skill like that. So far, our routine is going very well.
Bridgewater, the defending champs of this event
Yeah.
last year. Although our Kimmy O'Donnell was the all-around champion.
Yeah, Kimmy was amazing. She killed it at Skyland last year. I think that was one of her best meets she had all season. She didn't let the pressure get to her. She absorbed the pressure and used it to her best ability. That was a very nice routine done by Ellie Kim.
Yeah, it looks like no slip-ups whatsoever.
Oh, that was a very solid routine. So now Hillsborough on the floor again. So that was a front full. Another very difficult skill. Usually it's competed by itself because it's very difficult to connect it to like a front handspring front full. You have to be aware of where you're landing, how high you are in the air. So let's see what she does for her second pass.
So the creativity involved, Peyton, do you just, obviously you have a coach you work with in the off season long before you got to Central when you were a young girl, but you just devise certain things you want to try? Are they suggestions from a coach, a combination of all those things? How does that come about when you kind of want to coordinate your routine?
So it really is a combination of all of that. So really, at practice, you work with the skills that you have, and when you feel ready to upgrade them, your coach can help you with that process. For example, going from a back layout, which is like a back tuck with your legs straight, to a full twisting backwards move is, overall very high skill. You have to have a lot of good mental capacity to do that skill. You really have to have commitment, and also your coach will help you through that process of getting those upgrades. And also the coach can, wow, that was a very good series done by Bridgewater. 2 back tucks in a row. But yeah, also your coach can make suggestions to you on getting upgrades that can overall improve your routine and your score. That was a very solid routine from Bridgewater.
So Bridgewater off to a pretty good start here on the beam, I would say.
So this is Katina Coyle of Hillsborough on floor. Katina is a senior, I believe, at Hillsborough. She's overall a very strong varsity competitor for them for the past 4 years. It's been great to watch her grow through the meets. I don't know her personally, however, her gymnastics is always beautiful to watch. She's filled with a lot of talent.
How many of these girls, on the average, would you say will go on to compete in college at some point?
As of right now, going to compete in college is very difficult. I would compare it to the Olympics almost, because you've got a lot of Olympians coming from, their elite gyms and going to college now, and they're competing for college on full ride scholarships. So, really, to be at the D1 level for gymnastics, you got to be the best of the best. You really got to be that level 10 elite gymnast that those colleges are looking for. Even D3, you see a lot of level 10s and maybe a level 9 depending on what skills they have, what skills they're going to be working on. It's pretty rare for high school gymnasts to go to college for this sport. However, I know a lot of girls from Freehold Township actually do go to the Olympics because of the club gym that's near them.
Okay. So yeah, the Division I level I could clearly see, as it would be in most sports, that's very, very difficult and competitive. But if you're talking about Division III, as in a lot of sports, a little more attainable. I would imagine there are some students that.
Yeah. I think I see a lot. I mean, there's a lot of level 10s as well that go into D3.
And now we're over on the vault here.
I believe she is from Bernard's. That was a half on, half off, I believe.
Yeah,
I'll have to see what she
Bernard's does have a presence here today. I know it's not I don't think it's like a full team, but they're in the rotation.
Yeah, we have a lot of individual competitors today to see if they can qualify for states to go by themselves, and sectionals by themselves, because you know, a lot of high schools don't have gymnastics, so they go in as an individual competitor.
Oh, so that's how that works.
vault.
So we're saying Bernard's does not have a team.
No.
She competes, then she gets to participate in her school colors and she works with another school, is that right?
No, her score doesn't count towards any other school. It's just an individual score for her.
I got it.
Yep. So
Okay.
she can make it to team states, or to states by herself, individual states.
Kind of a unique opportunity, though, for her to
Yeah.
meet a lot of girls and, you know, kind of do her thing.
Yeah, and I think she gets to go around rotate with them as well. So I think she's rotating with Ridge, so she gets the support from Ridge, and she also supports everybody else as well.
And Peyton, by the way, I see our girls coming out, so when you got to run, you just tap me and say, hey, Mr. Johnson, gotta go. I get all that, but I'm delighted you're here, as this is kind of
Yes, thank you for
giving
this
me
opportunity.
the educational opportunity, and certainly folks out there watching, as the Central girls had a bye in the first rotation, if I said that correctly.
Yes, we did.
All right, I'm one
So
for one
now-
today.
Yeah.
So we are going to compete in the vault first. So this is almost like what we do at home for our regular matches,
Yep.
right? We're going to go by vault, by bars, by beam, and by floor. So
Yep, we're going Olympic rotation today, which is normal for us during our home meets.
okay, we're starting where we normally start.
Yep.
So I guess that goes with a little home cooking. So are you competing in which events are you going to be competing in
Today I
today?
will be competing beam and floor.
Beam and floor, terrific.
Yep. So I will tell you this, Ava Sutphin, Victoria Alami, and Taylor Friedrich will be competing all around. So they will be doing vault, bars, beam, and floor. And then we just have other competitors going in for the other 2 spots on the varsity lineup on vault on every event.
So it's 5 girls in each event?
Yeah, so how it
competing for school?
works, so I know a lot of people might not be aware of how high school gymnastics works, and that's totally okay because I didn't understand anything either when I first got here. So how it works is on varsity you have 5 girls competing. There's 5 spots in the lineup for every event. So then the top 3 scores from every event will be counted towards our final score.
Okay.
So this is Victoria. I think she's just doing a bump in. That's a half on, full off, which is pretty difficult.
So these are just practice ones right now, or?
I believe they're just doing
Okay.
bump in, so that's basically just like a little warm up.
Got it.
Just because we are taking these breaks in between every event.
Okay.
So that could be, gymnastics, if you're not warmed up, it's going to be difficult for you.
And Peyton, by the way, do you want to sit for a little bit?
Oh, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'd rather stand up. It's okay.
So when you guys do a group event, now I've been here at the field house for several one-on-one events with other teams, but when you do an event with 4 teams or more, this is kind of the norm. Everyone's at their own station.
Yep.
Or,
Yeah,
okay.
since we have 8 teams competing in only 4 events, and 4 sets of judges for every event. So I mean, a school is going to always be on an event.
So this is our last team competition
Yes,
of the
it
year?
is.
Okay.
At Hunterdon Central.
Yes.
However, we have sectionals in early November, team states, hopefully, as long as we qualify, and individual states. So this is Olivia Silber. She's doing a half on, half off. That was overall very clean.
So for sectionals, does do a lot of teams qualify for that? If you talk me through the process a little bit.
So you don't qualify as a team. So basically how it works is throughout your regular season, girls will compete. Girls that compete on varsity have to get certain scores on every event. For example, vault, you have to get an 8-6 2 times in 2 different meets to qualify for sectionals. So that was another clean vault from Olivia Silver. So we right now have 8 girls on vault, bars, and beam that are qualified for sectionals, and 10 on floor.
Okay.
So all those girls will be competing at sectionals, and depending on what our team score is overall at sectionals, we may or may not be going to team states.
Okay. And then after team states, they have individual states? Is that or individual? Yes.
Yes,
okay.
so we actually have individual
sort of
after
like
team
wrestling
states. Yeah, so it's actually
operates
very
that.
similar to wrestling, I heard, yeah. So this is Emma Peak. So that was a half on, half off. And I believe for her second vault, she will be doing a half on, full off.
And that name Peak is quite famous in this
Yes,
school,
it is.
in this
Yep.
facility. Emma's older brother, Tanner, was one of our all-time great wrestlers. The only thing that kept Tanner off the 100 career wins banner was the COVID year of 2020.
Unfortunately.
And Tanner's now down at Division I Davidson University down in North Carolina. Absolutely.
Let's see how her second vault is. Oh. That's all right. Sometimes, you just think you need more power than you actually do need, especially with the adrenaline from all these teams being here. It's common for that to happen.
So, this is obviously just a practice run here.
No,
this
is competing.
Okay.
Yep.
So something happens at the end when she finishes and falls. How do you regroup? I mean, how do you have to stand up and,
I mean, really, you just gotta not let it affect you, to be honest. So she got 2 8-6s on her half on, half off.
Okay.
So they take the best vault that you do out of the 2, and score that. So that's a very good score for a half on, half off. I'm pretty sure that's close to the maximum that you can get rewarded for that.
Oh, great. And now who is this?
This is Victoria Lamy.
Okay. We'll take a look at what Victoria has.
She will be doing a half on, full off, similar to Emma. Emma's last vault. That was an overall good vault. I believe the scores got messed up. I believe the 8-6 was for our first vaulter, and Emma got an 8.525 average.
Gotcha. Okay. I was going to say, that score came up really fast.
Yeah. Sometimes just stuff happens like that. Especially because we got the little ones doing the scores. So let's see how our second vault is. First one was pretty solid. That was a beautiful vault. Sometimes it's, hard to stop your body from twisting even more because you already did a full rotation. So sometimes your body just wants to keep going even though you gotta stop it. Next up we got Taylor Friedrich. She will be doing a souk, which is basically a round off back tuck off the vault, except her feet do not touch the ground until she lands her back tuck.
So every gymnast on the vault has their own, what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And they're all a little bit different.
Some of them are the same. However, in this varsity lineup, most of them have a variety of different vaults. Whatever is going to get the score. Taylor's very strong on this event. That was a very good vault from Taylor. She stuck that.
And Taylor is a senior as well? Or?
Yes, Taylor is a senior and my co-captain. So she's not going to do another vault because it's a very, physically exerting, movement. And, she already nailed that one. She doesn't need to risk getting injured or not, landing the next
So
one.
that leads to my question then, Peyton. After that first, if you've excelled that first one, you can opt not to go to the second one?
You don't have to go to the second one, but
Right.
you can if you want
can
to.
if you want to.
Yep. So Ava, I believe, first will be doing a Yurchenko tuck, which is a round off back handspring up onto the vault, and then pushing herself off and doing a back tuck.
What kind of tuck? What is it called?
It's called this vault is called the Yurchenko.
Yurchenko.
Yep. You will know what I'm talking about when you see it. Yep.
Oh,
So that
wow.
was good. And I believe next she will be going for either a Yurchenko pike, so her legs will be straight instead, or a Yurchenko layout, which her body will be more in like a straight position as opposed to a piked position, like a 90-degree angle.
Yurchenko is Russian for acrobat, maybe?
No, it's just a last name. I think it's a Russian last name.
Oh, it's definitely Russian.
Yeah,
last
definitely
name.
Russian last
It's a Russian
name.
name, yeah.
Yep. So let's see what she does. Oh, that was beautiful. I'm not sure if they're going to count. I'm not sure if they're going to score the first one or second one, because she did take a couple of steps back on her layout. However, her form was perfect for her layout.
So if you were the judge right there, Peyton, I'm putting you on the spot. Which one did you take? Which one would you take, the first or the second?
I'm sorry. I really am not sure. Usually I can tell. I believe maybe the second one, and maybe just taking, a couple tenths off for those couple steps that she took, because her form was overall perfect from this angle, from what I saw. So that was overall a very good vault rotation from Hunterdon Central. And now we'll be going on a bye again.
And let's see what the scores are down there.
Yep.
So this program moves along pretty fast, faster than I would have guessed.
So it was a 9-2. So I am not sure which one they took. It might have been the Yurchenko tuck because she did land a little bit short. So technically they will deduct more if they fall short instead of having too much power.
I just gave her the ceremonial fist bump as she went past. So
yeah, that was a pretty amazing vault from Ava.
well, for those out on the live stream joining us today, we're happy you could hear from the field house at Hunterdon Central High School. And I'm joined by Peyton Fish. Peyton, you might have a career here in gymnastics announcing. Has it ever crossed your mind? You're a senior now.
Well, actually, I think I'm going to college for television and video production, possibly like sports broadcasting of some sort. My cousin actually is over at Hofstra University right now doing radio broadcasting.
Yeah, I know your cousin. She was one of my students.
Yeah,
now,
Rachel.
the question is, why haven't you been working at HCTV? Now you're a senior.
Honestly, I was thinking about it this year. I might want to.
Let's go.
I love commentating. This is a very nice opportunity for me.
It kind of amazes me when I hear these students as seniors, like, well, I'm going to go to college sports broadcasting. I'm like, where have you been for 3 years? I'm happy to have plenty of students. This is where you hone your craft at the high school level. And typically we have student announcers, and you don't get older knuckleheads like me doing the broadcast. But Tyler Rodriguez, our junior announcer, is on the varsity soccer team. They had a late practice, although I think he is coming, but if not, I'll try to hold on the fort. But I'm glad you're here, Peyton, because this would not be my specialty. And where are you thinking about going to school next year?
I'm not sure. I'm going to apply to Ithaca because I heard they have a great program for that.
They do.
But I mean, I'm still looking at colleges, so I mean, we'll see where I end up.
An exciting time in life, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Now, are you Trevor's cousin?
Yes, I am Trevor's cousin.
Trevor Fish, one of our outstanding Red Devil football and lacrosse players. And Trevor and the Red Devils are over in Perth Amboy. They kick off in about a half hour. Big game for Central. I'm going to go out on a limb and say if they win tonight, they will probably secure a playoff berth. They're in 16th place out of 16 teams that make it, and it all comes down to power points, so you never know for sure how that stuff goes. But if you're in 16th place and you win, I would think if anything else you improve your lot as opposed to fall back. So hopefully the Red Devils get it done over in Perth Amboy tonight. 6:30 kickoff, but since it's a road game, we are not there. We are happily here at the field house checking out some gymnastics. So how much gymnastics do you watch in your spare time? In terms of, do you flip on like, ESPNU or some of these stations that might have college gymnastics?
Yeah, so college gymnastics doesn't actually start until, I believe, winter time. But whenever college gymnastics is on, I love watching it. College gymnastics is a totally different feel. It's really fun seeing all these elite gymnasts and Olympic gymnasts having fun on that floor. Because, when they're competing for the Olympics and when they have those elite competitions, they're serious the whole time. They don't really get to show a lot of their personality and their routines. However, in college gymnastics, it's really fun seeing all those personalities, mixed in a team. Seeing how well the team chemistry is, it's amazing. A team like University of Florida always has great team chemistry. It's always so fun watching all of their routines. So, yeah, I like to watch it whenever I can.
And it just so happens last Saturday, this guy was at the University of Florida.
Really?
I was down there for a football game.
Oh, yeah.
My son and I went to the LSU Florida football game.
Oh, that must have been fun.
That was a fun day in my life. That was kind of an all-timer. So, what about the gymnast from LSU? Do you know who I'm talking about? Who is this, the superstar of name, image, likeness?
So Livy Dunn,
yes.
From LSU, she's very widely known, not just for her gymnastics, but I believe she does a lot of brand deals, and she's liked by a lot of people in general. LSU has a great gymnastics team as well. All the southern schools have amazing gymnastics teams, and it's really fun getting to see all these gymnasts competing and having fun in their sport.
So I don't know if you've explored any of those big southern schools, but if you did, would that be something you'd find you'd like to go to a lot of the matches to watch?
Oh, yeah, I would absolutely love going to a college that had, gymnastics like that. That'd be so fun to watch, and I love just being in their presence and like being able to witness the routines like that. It's very special.
I think you might have to look into that a little bit.
Yeah, I might.
So I'm a big Southeastern Conference football fan, and I've been to 9 of the 14 team games now for football games, but they are massive events.
Yes, they
and
are.
Needless to say, it's kind of the world stops on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
It's very, very exciting. Peyton, you might want to throw a couple of applications out there. LSU, Alabama, Florida, Georgia. There's a lot of good ones. Different lifestyle for sure.
Yeah, I was taking a look at the southern schools. I would love to go to University of Florida. I think I'm going to apply there.
I think you should. You just had a little sparkle in your eyes. I'm talking to you about how you'd be into checking that out. If you're looking to do a little announcing, I'm just saying there's a lot of social media kind of things you could do at a place like that. You just go over and you talk to the sports information people. Say, hey, what can I do? I'll do whatever you need me to do. That's what it takes. And you've got a gymnastics background and knowledge, even if you're not competing at that level.
I still have the knowledge.
All right, I'm planting the seed tonight. And here I went to Fordham in the Bronx. My 2 boys go to Scranton in Northeast PA. But I'm telling you, I can see it right now, Peyton. So if your dad's listening, he's going to say, what was that guy trying to send you down south for? I think you'd...
Oh, no, he's on board. He's on board with it, so...
All right, well, it looks like at this time the A-team has arrived from soccer practice. He's showered, he's tanned, he's rested, he's ready. So I'm going to drop my microphone. Peyton, you stay right where you are. And I'm going to hand it over to Tyler Rodriguez. And Tyler and Peyton will guide you through the rest. Hang on just a minute. This is Peyton Fish. She's a senior. She's going to stay here a little while. We're going to rotate the English. This is the vault. Just let her tell you what's going on. Let me know when you're on.
Do I have to like introduce or anything?
So thank you for that introduction. I'm back here.
Yeah. So this is Danica Stetson.
Oh, but So I'm back here, Tyler Rodriguez. Thank you, Mr. Johnson, for the introduction. Danica, how you doing tonight? What are your thoughts on this event so far?
This is a really exciting event, so it's really fun to see everyone come together, and yeah.
So, do you guys host this event every year? It's kind of normal, like a big Skyland kind of conference, big meet here. Does that happen a lot?
Yeah, we had Skylands last year too. It's like really nice to have everyone here. Yeah.
Very well. So let's see what we got going on here. I have my competition list in front of me. So I'm a bit new to this. Obviously, I've never seen gymnastics. All I know is that I've seen you guys do some things. It's very impressive.
Yeah.
Just looking around here on the floor, we got some people going on the bars right now. And so this season for you guys, I was looking at your record. So you guys are 10-2.
Correct.
Had a lot of events you guys have gone to. Some of these other teams haven't played as much, haven't gone to as many things. How do you think the season's gone for you and everyone else on the team?
We have gotten really close as a team, and I think our teamwork has really helped us get the scores that we have gotten. And I think, yeah, it's just been a really amazing season for us.
Yeah, so here we go. Here, so Robin? Okay, Danica, events that you do, so what's your favorite? Do you do them all? Everything kind of, does everyone rotate? How's that work for you guys?
So, well, my favorite event to watch is definitely floor because everyone has their own routine, so it's very energetic. Mine personally is probably beam just because you get to do a lot of different things and it's really challenging, so it's really exciting to see some cool stuff.
Very interesting. So, have you competed today, or are you still waiting to go up?
So no, I'm not competing today, but I'm still with the team, helping out, so yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So, you guys, I see we got, looks like on beam, is that Ridge? Yeah, it's Ridge, and then over here, looks like Bridgewater Raritan, and then there's a lot of schools here. So, where is everyone else on your team right now? When are you guys up again, or have you finished already?
So currently, we just finished vault. So right now we're on a bye, and we're just waiting for our next event, which I think is beam.
Yeah, that's correct. So, yeah, on to the beam next. And so, if I'm correct, just looking at the schedule right here. You guys are Team A, beam. And then you have floor at, you have vault like you said, the last ones. Yep, indeed. Okay, yeah, you're right about that. Just running through things. I came late. Mr. Johnson obviously ran it very well up until this point. So there's a lot of people here. Do you normally get this turnout for all the rest of your meets?
So usually our meets are usually one against just one team. Sometimes we can have tri-meets, which is 3 teams going, so it's our team and then 2 other teams. But Skylands is just like a big conference, so there's 8 teams here today.
Yeah, a lot. And so with Florida now, we see Bridgewater Raritan performing at the moment towards kind of behind me. How does the song pick? Do you pick the song? Does the performer pick the song? The gymnast, I should say?
So, yeah, the gymnast gets to pick their song, and then usually they get it choreographed by either a coach or something, and they just fit it towards the music, and yeah.
Yeah, I think, do you ever get scared during any of these events, or is it just the fear is kind of gone at this point for you?
I would say, for me personally, I definitely get the most nervous on beam, just because it's a very small piece of equipment, and just to stay on, it's a lot of nerves. But I would say the best event to compete is probably vault or floor, just because you have a lot of adrenaline, so it really helps you get through the routines.
So now, how many years have you been on the gymnastics team here?
So this is my 3rd year being on the team.
3rd year. And would you say it's your best so far? Which year have you liked the most?
I would say this is my best because I'm finally back in it. First year, I was doing my club season and high school season, and that led me to breaking my back. So I had to sit out my sophomore year. So finally coming back junior year, it's a great thing.
And are injuries fairly common in sport? It seems a bit dangerous.
Yes, gymnastics is very injury-prone sport. So Mr. P, our athletic trainer, sees us quite often.
And so you hurt your back. You said, have you had anything before that? Any other injuries in your career?
Other than gymnastics, I have just torn 2 muscles in my hip from track. But other than that, I've been pretty good with injuries.
So I assume you prefer gymnastics over track?
Yeah, probably. Just because I came from dance, so I get to incorporate that into my gymnastics, which is really nice.
And what made you make that switch from dance to gymnastics?
I just wanted a change. I was kind of over dance at that point, and I thought gymnastics, I could have the best of 2 worlds, so it was kind of nice.
And so how many years now have you been a gymnast?
I think this is my 5th or 6th year. I'm not really sure.
Very impressive. So do you prefer the club or the school? Which one do you think? How do you think those compare to each other?
I definitely prefer the school more. I think there's more camaraderie with the team, and I think we really cheer for each other, and it's really nice. I also have stop club, so this is really my only outlet to do gymnastics.
Very interesting. I do always see a lot of you guys kind of dressing up together, wearing certain things. Who, or the Sykes, I suppose, who comes up with all those? Is that kind of like a team? Is it mutual amongst the team, or is it with captains, things like that?
So usually either the captains or the seniors will come up with the psych, or sometimes we'll just give an idea, and if quite a few people like it, we'll just go with it. So, yeah.
Very interesting. So a lot of noise, so the rest of your team is out, and you say you're moving on to, what was it, you said vault?
So we just finished vault, so we might be we're going to bars.
Bars,
now.
yeah.
Yep.
And you know who's on bars for you?
So currently, I think our bar lineup is Allie, I see Victoria, Ava, Taylor, and I think Anna. So it's a pretty good bar lineup. Very excited.
So all the gymnasts on your team, have most of them been doing it kind of their whole life? Because you've only been doing it for 5 years, so most of them started kind of young and been going up till now? Yeah,
I would say a lot of us started pretty young, and we've just grown to really like it, and we've just stuck with it.
And so now this is obviously Skyland's. What's the next step for this team? If you can come out of this on top, where do you guys go next?
So I'm pretty sure we have sectionals next. I'm not really sure when, but yeah, we go to sectionals as a team, and that'll probably be our next meet.
Very interesting as we just get prepared here. So you said your favorite event is floor, you said, correct?
Yeah, I would say floor to watch, and I also like to do beam myself. Yeah.
Have you done bars? Do you do that one a lot, or as familiar with it?
I would say bars is probably my least favorite. It's just been more of a difficult one for me, especially with, mental block and stuff like that.
So are you scared up there? Is that kind of the mental block you're talking about?
Mostly, yeah. I would say definitely with a dismount, like a flyaway, that's probably been my most challenging thing. So, but I love watching bars because I think it's quite amazing what people can do. Yeah.
So who's up now for your team here? Who's coming up?
I'm pretty sure Allie is our first one to go up.
And you're fully confident in her, I assume.
Yeah, she's been working really hard this season, and she finally got her Giants, so that was a really exciting moment for her.
What is a Giants, if I can ask?
So that's where you go up into a handstand and on the high bar and you go around in a circle.
Oh wow, that's very impressive, yeah.
Yeah. So we were all really happy that she got that. Right now they have their one touch, so they're just warming up again.
So what do you think's going through their mind now as they're getting ready for this? You have kind of is it more of a routine they have in place, or do you kind of just roll with what you're doing on the Pacific Day?
I mean, it depends, I guess. Right now, they're just warming up what I think they probably need to warm up. But probably what's going through their head is just trying to get everything right, just staying calm while on the event. So, yeah.
Yeah, it does look very impressive. The bars certainly. A lot of chalk on the hands. I assume that must help.
Yeah.
I see it's all over everywhere. It's crazy how you guys just transform the gym, just moving mats, moving equipment, just getting all the things in place to have an event like this. And it's a lot of noise, a lot of yelling, a lot of people in here. It's great to see. It does remind me of the regional wrestlings we had last year, but I think this is just a bit more interesting because I think for gymnastics, not many people know about it, but it certainly is a great event for everyone to see how amazing sport is, because it is pretty difficult. I mean, when you started, were you just good naturally, or did it take a while for you to kind of get with the rest of the crowd?
It's definitely a talent to be able to be good at a certain event or something, so just working hard and like staying with it, keeping on top of it, and it definitely helps to have your teammates there to like cheer you on and stuff.
I saw the floor here. Bridgewater and still there. Over on the beam, looks like Somerville.
Yep, Somerville.
And Central over there just getting ready for their competitions on the bars over there. How much do the coaches do? Do they have to talk strategy to you, or is it just kind of like let you do your thing out there?
So usually Coach Alexa will come into the locker room, usually give us a pep talk, and just make sure we're really ready for the event. She's very good and on top of stuff, which is really nice to have.
So over on floor over here, a new routine there.
No.
With a vault going on. No one on the beam or the bars at the moment. So take a look at this floor event going on. What happened? So this is Olivia Petronzi up now for Bridgewater Raritan on floor here. What do you make of this performance, Danica?
I really like it. I think the music is really energetic, and I just love when I can see other people's floor routines. It just really inspires for like different dance moves and stuff.
Is it more, would you say it's more of a dance than it is kind of acrobatics in a way?
I would say it's a mixture. There's definitely more dance elements in it, but what really makes a routine is definitely the tumbling and all like the leaps.
And how important is the music in the routine?
I mean, it depends what the gymnast chooses, but I mean, it can either hype up the team or it could just really be a lyrical type thing that shows off your artistic abilities.
So final jump over there on vault. And here we go for uneven bars. We're getting ready here for Central. Danica, do the judges scare you a bit, kind of being judged? Is that something that plays into your mentality when you're performing?
I wouldn't say so. I would say it's definitely you want to try your hardest for them, and sometimes that can have you make a mistake, just the nerves, but I don't really think they affect me that much.
Wow, this is very impressive. And now who's this performer right now for you, Danica?
So that is Anna. She is a senior this year.
Who would you say is your most talented member on the bars of the team right now?
I would probably say Ava's the most talented. She has some really difficult skills, like the pack between bars when she flips from the high bar to the low bar.
Yeah, certainly looked pretty good from her. Good start for the Red Devils, you assume there. And really, it's the main thing going on at the moment. Beam is going full as well. And now who do we have next, Danica?
All right, so next up is Victoria. She's our freshman this year.
Yep, the Victoria Alami up right now for the Red Devils. Just turn over the floor here as we wait. And now Victoria looks like she'll be ready to get going on the bar. And just like that, she's on. So Danica, walk us through what she's doing right now.
All right, so she just did a handstand pirouette, and now she's going to go for her giants. Her dismount's really cool because she does a toe front, which is really unique to the team.
Oh, wow. That was a very nice line. You were right about that for sure. And so, this is Taylor, correct, Danica?
Yes, I think Taylor's up next.
Yeah, Taylor Frederick's up next for the Red Devils. It looks like North Hunterdon getting ready on the floor. She just gets her bearings here before getting ready. Judges in place. Still a couple people going on vault. And looks final scores are in. Was that for the last person, Danica? Scores were?
Yes, that is correct.
And here we go.
Taylor's also doing a handstand pirouette.
How difficult is this dismount there?
So she was working really hard to get a double back, and she finally got it, so let's hope that it goes really well.
Oh, she just fell at the end, but other than that, looked very impressive.
It's a very difficult dismount, so she tried her hardest.
What's the practice look like for you guys training for things like these? I mean, is it just kind of getting reps at it, or do you do something special, something different?
So we usually come after school and we warm up and stuff, and usually Coach Alexa will have different assignments for all of us, just usually being what we need to work on, or if we have a meet the next day, maybe focusing on that one event or a few events that we're competing, just making sure everything's all good to compete.
And this is Ava, correct?
Yes.
Ava Suffin now getting going for the Red Devils, and looks like North Hunterdon's up on floor. There's a lot of things starting. This is Olivia French up now for North Hunterdon.
This is
Robin?
This is Montgomery.
Okay. Oh yeah, Montgomery, sorry. Danica, good correction right here. So interesting, the music out from the last team that was up was very aggressive. This is a bit more toned down, a bit more graceful. When you're on floor, do you pick your music when you go out there?
Yeah, so we get to choose what type of song we want, and it can be based on just, you know, what we're good at. It can be very energetic if we can keep the energy levels high, or if you want something more slow and contemporary, you can have that too.
And what is it that you prefer when you're out there?
I prefer a more energetic one. I just think it's better to have everyone there.
Now here's Ava going up on here. Explain to us what she's doing right now, Danica.
Alright, so she just did her packed to the low bar, and now she's just did a full pirouette, high bar, and then a double back for a dismount.
Oh, beautiful landing, wasn't it? How difficult is that transition from the low bar to the high bar? I mean, it seems like it would be difficult. It's a pretty large distance. Do a lot of gymnasts struggle with that, or is it more the landing that gets them at the end?
It definitely depends on the gymnasts themselves. I would say bar switching, especially from high bar to low bar, that can be pretty difficult and high level. But I think dismounts are also pretty impressive.
Indeed, so that is it for the Red Devils on bars. Let me check what you guys are going to do next. Bars, another bye, and then on to the beam. And next on bars, this looks like it will be Hillsborough coming over. So is it just they just kind of switch back and forth? They have it in a pretty smooth manner. And now on floor for Montgomery. Just take a look. Take a look over there. I believe this is strike here on for Montgomery, but let's take a look at what she's doing. Is it an interesting approach to start on the ground, or is that fairly common in this?
It can be fairly common. We all have our different starting poses. It's just whichever has been choreographed for us.
And how would you rate this at the moment? What do you think? Walk us through what she's doing here.
I think she's doing pretty good so far. So her last swimming class, she just did a front tuck forward roll cartwheel, which is really common with all these high school gymnasts. If someone wants to go, they can go. So I'm fine.
And so good performance there by Montgomery. They're still seeing the time off on floor. And it looks like Bridgewater Raritan moving to the vault here. What's the strategy behind the vault, Danica?
Just to get like a lot of power off the board, make sure you're blocking off the table, and yeah, just trying to stick your landing, make it as clean as possible.
And do you do vault a lot? Where does it rank amongst your favorite events?
I would say it's probably my third or second favorite.
I believe Somerville looks like they'll be leaving beam, as I think it's North Hunterdon waiting behind them. Double check on that. And taking back, look over at floor. Again, Montgomery's still up there. They will have, this is another one of the members, Amit Despande, going up for them. 1 of 5 for them on floor. And over on the bars is Hillsborough at the moment. What are you making of this floor performance over here?
It's pretty nice to see more of a lyrical type routine. I think she did really well.
After that performance over. And as well, concluding over on bars for Hillsborough. A different approach. You're starting from the top bar. Do you have to go from the bottom to the top, or can it be your way?
It just depends on what type of skills you have. A lot of us start from the bottom, but as you saw in Ava's routine, she started from the top and then did her pack.
Oh, looked brilliantly done there on the landing. Over there for Hillsborough. And the Panthers concluding the time on the vault here in just a little bit. How long are your buys usually? Is it like what, 5-10 minutes?
It really depends on how fast the event has moved, but yeah, usually around maybe 10 minutes.
Seems like the music here on this floor exercise a bit different. What do you make of this?
I
how it's
really like
colliding
it.
with it?
I really like it. I think she's definitely moving along with the music, being sharp with her sharp parts, and definitely just she fits really well with the music.
falls to the ground now. That seemed pretty good. What do you make of it, Danica?
I really liked it. I thought that front aerial was pretty impressive. And yeah, I think it really fit with her dance.
Indeed it did. So, switching over to the bar, still Hillsborough there. And just getting the conclusion of that one. The landing was stuck smoothly. A lot of moving pieces here. Difficult to know what to watch. Are your eyes drawn more towards the floor exercises?
I would say it definitely catches my eye because of the music. It's definitely really energetic, but really any event is very entertaining to watch.
And signal to the judges. Montgomery still going strong on the floor. That's 8.7 for the last round for Montgomery.
Nice. She just did a front handspring, front tuck, which requires a lot of power.
How difficult is that to run to get to the one corner and then execute all the flips and all the movements in the air? It must be pretty hard.
Yeah, you definitely have to keep the energy up because you will get tired towards the end, especially around the third pass. So just taking as many breaks as you can between each dance move, it's really important.
And how long are these usually? These floor events here?
The routines go between maybe a minute 20 to a minute 30.
Yeah, like you said, it does seem to make a big difference, the type of music, hyping the team up in a way, getting the energy going to the performer out there.
Yeah, and it definitely helps for the gymnast who's competing, just to keep their energy up as well. So.
It's brilliantly done there. Montgomery. I think that's a conclusion on the buzz, or on the floor, I should say. Now, just looking at the rosters for everyone kind of putting people out in events on the floor, and all the other ones, how many people, so for all the events, how many people do you want doing each one usually?
So our lineups, we usually have 5 people on each event, which is a full lineup, and things like this, we really try and have people that are really strong on that event to compete.
And the distance tuck there over on the bars. Oh. So I believe this is Watching Hills, if I'm correct, coming up to the floor, or I think so. Let's double check that. Yep, that is Watching Hills coming up the floor. How nice was that over there on the vault? Danica, did you see that?
Yes, I did. She did a pike souk, and on the first one, she unfortunately fell, but the second one she redeemed herself and had a really good landing.
How many attempts do you get for the over there to stick it?
So you have 2 vaults. You can choose to do 2 vaults, or if you're doing more of a difficult type of vault, you can choose to do 1.
Just watching Hillsborough currently on bars. I mean, it must be difficult for these judges because, especially on the bars, everyone just looks so strong and very good. I mean, it must be just little things they're picking out that could separate teams here.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely helps to be really clean on each event, just to try and get, because every 10th counts, so they can deduct as much as they want.
So Watching Hill's going to go over here on the floor. I believe this is Marion Patricia up. Thank you to Danica for her time here. Of course, very much helping us out, explaining things well. Her expertise was needed, of course. So like I said, thank you so much to Danica for her time here. Now I'm joined with Cali Carlton. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
And Cali, what grade are you in?
I'm a freshman this year.
Freshman. So this is your first year on the gymnastics team?
It is, and so far I am just loving it. You know, my team's great. They're all super supportive, and the atmosphere is just incredible.
That's interesting for gymnastics. You guys don't have like any JV freshmen, it's just one big team, right?
We do have a JV. There is no freshman team, so it's just split up into JV and varsity. And actually, the majority of our varsity is freshmen, so it's pretty cool.
And are you on JV varsity this year?
I'm on JV this year, yeah.
And how's that been going?
I really love it. I really love the people that I compete with. You know, they're really, like I said, always super supportive, and they're always so fun. And we'll be going through floor routines, and you know, you can see the team, and they're doing parts of each other's routines, and it's so much fun to be a part of. Yeah.
So, how many years have you been a gymnast?
I've been a gymnast since I was 3, and I took a gap year, so about a decade.
3? How'd that go? 3, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing it my whole life, and if it wasn't this, it was figure skating. So as cool as figure skaters are, I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. I've always loved the sport.
Do you still figure skate, or is it just gymnastics?
No, it's just gymnastics.
Gymnastics, a bus mentality, I like that. So what's your favorite event?
My favorite event is floor, and it's always been floor. Tumbling has always been my strong suit, and that's what I've been competing the most of this year. I did varsity floor a few times. It's just, I love feeling the music. I love dancing throughout my routine. I love being able to make everything big and super extra, and just having fun with it, having fun with the judges. It's a blast.
How do you go about picking the music for floor? Do you want something kind of more loud or something more low-key?
I like something more upbeat. I like something that other people can dance to. So when I started out doing gymnastics, I was on USAG, which is super competitive, and it just means that you can't pick your floor music. So when I got to my club team that I'm in now, and I did get to choose my floor music, I just knew something. I picked something that I knew would, as soon as I heard it, just take away all my stress. It's a song from Tangled, actually, which is one of my favorite movies, and I love dancing to it. Hearing it just relieves everything that's been like building up over the competition.
And what would you say stresses you the most? Is it the judges? Is it just the nerves?
It's really just the nerves. I guess all your feelings are kind of like heightened when you go out. So I feel like there's always a stress in gymnastics on injury and stuff, but it's just the atmosphere of competition. That was a front she just did. It's a pretty common skill, but it takes a lot of preciseness to execute.
Rika Iyer over here. Now she goes over to this corner. And the music all has to be lyricless, I assume, correct?
I'm sorry?
Music can't have any words.
It can't have any words. No, nothing. They're very stingy, about how you can't really get away with anything here. Which is fun. It's interesting to see how sometimes the teammates will try to cheat it and put in words. I had a teammate, Raina, once. Her music was Fireball, and everybody shouted it because she can't have it in the music. So we find ways around it.
Yeah, I feel like the music, as you can tell, if it's a good song, the rest of the team really gets behind it.
Oh, yeah. It's just...
How important is that to get your team behind
it? If the team is the majority of the routine, you don't have a team cheering for you, it kind of takes away everything. Even if you're not competing in a meet, you're there at a meet, and you're supporting your team, because without your team, you don't really have anybody with you, and it's not as fun to do stuff.
Yeah, that's a great mentality to have.
Yeah.
So that was Rika Iyer there with her floor routine. So your favorite event is floor. Is that your favorite event to compete in, or favorite event to watch?
I'd have to say both. Watching, it's between floor and bars. Bars is a very flowy event, and it's really cool to see how gymnasts put everything together. I like floor because my dance and my music, it kind of just distracts me from everything, and you can kind of just go with the flow. So it's very nice to do in competition, and I love watching floor. Floor, I believe, is the best expression of, a gymnast's personality. So I think it's really cool to be able to get into the minds of the gymnasts when you're watching them perform.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because I feel like this is an interesting sport in the sense that it is very physically demanding, but it also is a bit of an art form, especially here on floor.
It is, really, yeah.
Really graceful to see what some of these gymnasts can do. And next up, it's Veronica Russo for Watching Hills. And now your team's on a bye right now. How important is this 10 minutes or so for your team? What are you guys focusing on? Are you listening to music? How are you guys getting ready for your next event?
The most important for us in the buys is to have fun. We go into the locker room, we got the LED lights going, we got music playing, everybody's talking and dancing and having fun with it. And it's really it's a time for us to connect with each other and to prepare for the next event, but to just have fun in the moment and enjoy this. Especially for our seniors, this is their last Skylands, so this is a very important place to be with everybody and just, enjoy the company of your teammates.
Well, this is your first Skylands. How have you liked it so far?
I really enjoy this. Usually when we do meets here at Central, it's usually team on team, or we have, one single person. But with this, it's so interesting. There's always something going on, and I love seeing the teamwork, and I love seeing the coaching styles, and I love seeing all the different Leos. I tell my teammates all the time, I spend half of meets just thinking about how cool everybody's Leos are. So I really enjoy it, and I mean, the stands are packed, which is great. I love seeing that.
Leos, that's a leotard.
Leotard, yeah.
And who do you think has the best, if you have to say?
I
think the Central's pretty nice.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be biased or anything, but I do love our Leos so very much. I'm very fond of them, and they're comfy, and the gems are sturdy.
Yeah.
So that's always something to appreciate.
And what was that just called out?
Round off, back handspring full, or a full twisting layout. Also a pretty common skill.
How many years, days, months, weeks, how long does it take to master all these?
All of these? Well, it takes, a lifetime. Gymnastics is such a building block skill, so you start with a cartwheel or a handstand, and that cartwheel or handstand takes you through every skill up to Olympic level. Your roots are always needed, so it depends on the skill and it depends on the gymnast, but I'm guessing everybody on my team has been doing this for at least the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, so for you said you did figure skating. When did you make that switch from kind of leading figure skating in the past?
Figure skating was never a huge thing for me. I did it very briefly when I was younger just to get me into something. I found out very quickly I did not like the cold. It's never been my thing.
Yeah.
I guess that's partially genetics to blame. So I was pretty young. I'm guessing I was probably about 5. I was into gymnastics for 2 years before I quit, and I decided this is what I wanted to do, and I tried out for the high school team because if I could do this in college, that would just be the dream.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It does seem pretty interesting
Really
to
is.
do that in college, and of course now, you said you're really enjoying your first year. What's been the best part for you?
The best part is the teamwork, which I know I emphasize so much, but it's such a crucial part of this, because usually gymnastics is a solo sport, it's individual, and I do club at a different gym, and although there's teamwork there, it's all about the individual. Here it's so different, and we all hang out and we all have team bonding and we have sleepovers and we have pool parties, and it's incredible getting to really know the people that I'm working with and the people that I know are here to support me and everybody else, and it's just really incredible. I mean, I love my teammates and they're all just great people to hang out with, so I really love that.
Which one's more competitive, would you say, between club and high school?
Definitely club. I think high school we get a little more into it just because there's more people in one place, but club, it's super strict on the rules. Here you're a lot more free. I mean, we set up our gym before we compete, and we make the lineups and we make everything. In club, a lot of it is super strict and it's not really in your control. So this is a lot more free, I think, and it's a lot more comfortable. It's like a blanket no judgment zone.
Yeah.
Which I really appreciate.
And now we're looking over at bars. Can you walk us through what she's doing at the moment?
That is an uprise, back hip circle underswing into another uprise, and here she just did a flyaway, common release skill, and there's tons of different variations of it that you might have seen before.
Yeah, so it looks like it's just their warm-up here.
Yeah, usually in warm-ups you get 30 seconds per girl on that event, and that was a layout flyaway, a little different, but
and this is Bridgewater and Hillsborough over there, correct?
I believe the green Leos, the green and black that we just saw, was North.
North, yeah.
I'm not sure about the other teams. That is a giant. Giants are a process to learn, but they're really cool skills once you get the hang of them.
Indeed. So let me just check who's over there. Over here as we take a look at floor. This song certainly seems makes you kind of want to get up and move, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, this is it's kind of intense, but in a dancey way, and I really appreciated that. That was a round off handspring back tuck. A lot of people use it as their last pass because it gets them that extra bit of bonus, and if you include that in your routine, it might just help you get full bonus, which means the maximum points you can get on a routine is 10, which is always the goal. And I really love their Leos. They're beautifully designed.
Yeah, they're pretty nice. Do you design the Leos yourself, or someone else makes it probably?
Yeah, we don't design our Leos. We got shirts and sweatpants for Skylands today, and we wore them to school. Our captains, Taylor and Peyton, designed those for us. We don't design our Leos. In some club teams, they let you pick, and they do majority vote, but we didn't get to design them, but I'm very happy with the outcome of them. Like I said, they're beautiful and they're comfortable, and I love competing in them. How
important have your captains been, Payne and Taylor? What are your thoughts on that, how important they've been to the team?
They're the rocks of our team. They're our foundation, and they always hype us up, and they have fun with us while keeping us in check, and I love them both so dearly. They bring so much energy to the team, and you can just tell that they really love this sport, and they really love all of their teammates, and it's just so great having them, and I couldn't ask for better captains.
What about your coach? How important is she for you guys?
I've been doing gymnastics not only here with Coach Alexa, but also at my club gym, and she's great. I mean, we wouldn't have this team without her. And Coach Kelly is wonderful too. She comes in and she helps out, and she hypes us up, and she brings the energy. And I think we wouldn't have a team without them, so I have so much to thank them for.
Would you say energy is the most important part of gymnastics?
I mean, yeah, the sport doesn't exist without it. Energy from your coaches, energy from your teammates, energy from yourself. I mean, if you're out of energy, you can't really do anything with it.
Yeah, that's true. So what do we have going on here over on floor? Talk us through this.
Little dancey part. A lot of girls like to put some of their dance on floor. That was a straddle full, tuck 1.5, and she's kind of dancing her way back to her corner just so she can run the full length of the floor into this next tumbling pass. And that is a round off, handspring, tuck. Probably her last pass, not sure though. Yep. There it is. I love seeing different gymnast endings, and I love when they go along with the beats, and it it really makes the end of the routine. It's usually something pretty big, but not too big that you know, you're on very low energy at the end, so you got to be strategical with that.
So let's look over here on beam. Who's on beam for Central at the moment?
This is Olivia Cyber. She's been a really consistent varsity member on beam, and she's really consistent on beam. She sticks her stuff. This handstand that she does is always straight up and down. That is called an Arabian. It is a front tuck starting from a back tuck position, and she always lands her stuff, and it's great to see her compete because you know she's always super reliable.
What grade is Olivia in?
Olivia's a freshman, which is
like
just
you said,
incredible.
most of them making up this team.
Most of the varsity lineup is freshmen. We have 8 freshmen, which is a lot for this year, and the freshmen that came in this year are just so talented. And it's just incredible to see what all of them can do at such a young age. And yeah, like I said, most of our varsity lineup is freshmen, which I feel like doesn't happen all that often. So it's really cool to see.
And this is Payne up next, I believe.
Yes, one of our captains. She is also consistently in the varsity lineup for beam. And I love her dance throughout her beam routine. It's always very sharp, it's always very clean, but I think it makes the routine flow very well.
How long usually are these beam routines?
Every routine has a maximum length of 1 minute and 30 seconds, so that goes for beam, bars, and floor. Some girls go under just to keep it safe. Some girls, we've had a lot of meets where I've timed and they get to 1 minute 30 on the dot. If you go over, it's a small deduction, but it's still something. And that was a switch leap tuck 3/4. Switch leaps are very hard to execute on beam. It once again takes a lot of precision, as most beams goes to, and that was her full turn into some dance. I love this part. I don't know why, I think it flows all very, very well. And Peyton executes it very nicely. This is going to be a cartwheel swing through round off, which fulfills 2 requirements you have on beam. A flight skill requirement, which means none of your limbs are on the beam at the same time. And a connection requirement, which is how she connected those 2 skills. This is her wolf 3/4, and she's going into her dismount, which is a cat leap half, into that beautiful layout.
Yeah, looks like you guys are loving it over there.
Oh yeah, I told you the team's the most important part. I mean, I don't know where Peyton would be after that routine if all her teammates didn't come over to hug her and support her. And you know, we're all very proud of her. That was a great routine. That was a beam stick too, which means she didn't fall once, which is incredible. In our locker room, we have a beam stick board where we get to add gems if we get beam sticks, and it's always very fun for all the teammates to, you know, get to see their progress, especially over meets. Next up is Victoria Alami.
Yeah, she was on bars, you saw her earlier.
She was on bars. Victoria has a great bar routine and has a really unique bar dismount, which I love seeing, and it's such a cool skill because I've never seen any other gymnast execute it before her. She has a very nice beam routine.
And she's a freshman as well.
She's a freshman as well, yeah. It's really incredible the talent that the freshmen this year have. Like I said, like only being 14, it's just incredible with everything. That was her full turn.
I feel like the beam certainly is a bit of a slower event, obviously, because you don't have that much ground. It's a very, very narrow surface you're on.
Oh yeah, if the beam has to be a slower event. If you rush your beam routine, it just makes it so much harder to stick your skills. That was a standing tuck, which is once again another hard skill to execute. And she has her switch leap tuck 3/4 into some dance, and that is a wolf 3/4. And later you'll see another 3/4 jump in her routine that only a few gymnasts do. That is her split 3/4. A wolf 3/4 and a split 3/4 are actually worth the same amount of points, even though, of my personal opinion, I think that split 3/4 are significantly harder, so you don't see them as much. That was her cartwheel, and that fulfills her connection requirement into her dismount. I love this dismount. The connection is incredible, and I feel like you never see people do handspring dismounts. So it's beautiful to see, and she sticks it.
Yeah, it did look very impressive. So for all these routines, floor, beam, bars, even vault, how much reps, how much preparation you need to get before you do? I mean, can you just do it a couple times? You really got to be for a large period of time before you can really get it right?
It's a large period of time for some events. Beam, if you have the skills, you can add in some dance really quickly. Usually your dance on beam comes from your dance on floor, but it does take a bit to get comfortable with the routine, especially comfortable enough to be able to perform it. On floor, it's a different story because it's a lot in stamina. So if you haven't been competing your floor routine and you've just been doing your jumps, like all your skills separately, it takes so much to put them together, and you really have to work up to being able to complete a full floor routine. And that could take, a month or two, even if you have all the skills. This is Ava, who we saw earlier on bars and on vault. She is a very sturdy varsity member. She is a freshman on our team. That was a back handspring step out, and this is her switch leap tuck. Oh, sorry, straddle half. I'm so used to seeing that tuck 3/4. My brain kind of went on autopilot. I really like her dance as well. It flows very nicely with her routine, and everything's sharp, but she manages to make it flowy. There's that split 3/4 that we saw earlier, and this is going to be her standing tuck. Beautiful. Oh. She saved that.
Yeah, that's nice.
Gotta love a great save. And her full turn right here. This dance right over here on this end of the beam is my favorite. I think it's done very well. And I don't remember any of this dance being in her floor routine, so I don't know if a coach made it for her or if she just figured that out herself, but it really works very nicely.
Yeah, brilliantly done by her. A lot of names thrown out for different moves, obviously, and flips and jumps. Who comes up with the name? Is it just kind of been there forever and ever, or is it developed a lot?
It depends on the level of the skill. If it's, a lower level skill, if it's like a round off or a back handspring or things like that, it's usually made by, I'm guessing, some kind of gymnastics committee, and it's been there for years and years and years. Once you get up into the higher skills, like Olympic skills in the code of points that a lot of Olympians use to gauge what skills they should put in their routine, almost all of them are named after people who first either originated them or first competed them successfully in competition. So it really depends on how high you're willing to go with your skills. I'm going to say all of the skills that any of our girls compete are all made by committees over the years, and they're from roots of other skills that you need to complete them.
Yeah, so this is your other captain, Taylor.
Taylor, yeah. She's been captain since her junior year, which I didn't even know was possible. We heard about that on senior night. And once again, our very, very sturdy varsity member. She's always last or second to last in the lineup, which is really incredible. She's been on the team since her freshman year, and she always brings the energy. She hypes us up. And you'll see that in her floor routine and after everybody else's routine where she goes to congratulate them. She has a really great routine and some unique skills that you don't see a ton, so it's really cool to watch throughout this routine. And here's her switch leap into her tuck 3/4. There we go. And that gets her some bonus, having a switch leap and a full turn. Full turn is a requirement, that's why every gymnast has it, or at least every gymnast should. Into her cartwheel, swing through. Yeah, there we go. Swing through, round off.
Oh, that's nice too.
Yeah, it's a nice save. Yeah. If you wobble a lot on that connection, it might not count as a connection. This is her aerial. You rarely see gymnasts complete that, so it's a really cool skill to watch, and she was working side flips earlier this season. And this should be her back tuck. There we go, beautiful stick. This is newer for her, maybe not a newer skill, but newer to see in competition. Her and Victoria, who competed earlier, debuted that on the same day. And this is her dismount. It's a full. She's the only one on our team to have that, and she does it beautifully. And you can just see after her routine how happy she is and how thankful she is to be able to share that moment with everybody.
What does she do? You say she hypes you up. How? In what ways does she hype you up? Is it very loud? Is it leading by example? Is it things like that?
It's honestly everything. It's a lot of leading by example. If we feel, down in meet or we're tired or we're just not feeling it, Taylor goes around to us and tells us that we need to bring the energy up, and she kind of sets the tone for everything. She tries to set the meets, and she gives us the pep talks before we go out, and she hypes everybody else up, and she hypes herself up, and it's just, she's such a great example for all of us, which is why I think she makes such a great captain.
Is it very uncommon to have a junior captain?
I mean, I don't know in the history of this team, but I assumed that all captains were seniors. I mean, all the captains that I've known on various sports teams are seniors. So as you know, there's not a rule against it, but it's not very common to see, because usually you pick people with, the most experience, who are most comfortable on the team. So it's interesting to see, and I think it just says a lot about her character.
So you say she goes last or second to last. What is so special about that? Is that particularly more difficult?
So
does the order kind of matter?
The order does kind of matter. Usually what coaches do is they put their gymnasts with the most advanced skills or the highest scores or just really impactful routines they put last. And that doesn't mean that, other girls don't have really impactful routines, but it's usually how they set up the lineups. It's either by, score or consistency, or how long they've been doing varsity, or, how it's kind of what you want to leave the meet with.
Yeah,
and if you
leave that impression on the judge.
Leave that impression on the judge, leave that impression on the people you're doing this with, and you want to end on a good note. So coaches pick girls who they know will finish off the meet very well.
Indeed. So how would you rate that performance from the team there on the beams?
Oh my God, I'm just so proud of them, and I can't wait to go over and congratulate all of them. 10 out of 10 and 925. It's an incredible score. Anything in the nines is just really impressive, and it always gets some applaud from the audience, which is a great confidence booster for the girls, I'm sure.
So your last event will be floor. Is that what do you think as a team is your strongest event?
Floor is our strongest event. It has always been Central's strongest event. When we set up these meets, we choose the lineups and we choose the order in what teams get to perform, and we always go last on floor. It's our strongest, and it's what we have the most fun with, and it's where we bring the most energy, and so varsity floor is always last for a reason. It's to leave a great impression on the judges, like you said before.
Yeah, so it's Victoria, Ava, and Taylor on floor. How confident are you in those three?
I am so confident in those. I love all their routines, number one. They're just incredible to watch. They're like mesmerizing. Their tumbling is incredible, and their dance flows super well, and it's very dynamic, and it's just, I'm sure they'll do amazing. I have not a doubt in my mind that they'll all do great here.
Now, which one do you think floor is the most difficult event? What do you think is the hardest one?
I really think it depends on the girl. For me personally, beam or bars is most difficult for me because I'm more of a power gymnast. I tend to lean towards floor and vault because they're a little more power, a little less grace. So it really varies from girl to girl. I know floor is a very popular event. I've met probably about 3 gymnasts in my life, and I've been on a lot of different teams who had beam as their favorite event, so beam tends to be pretty difficult, but once again, it depends on the girl.
Okay, so there's Somerville now on the floor here. Let's see how this one will go. Are you more stressed about certain events that you do? What would you say is your best event?
My best event is floor. When I go to club and I compete all events, beam is very stressful. And it's very stressful because there's a high chance that you'll fall. A lot of the other events, it's a possibility for sure, but it's never as probable. And if you're stressed and you're shaking and you're on beam, it's not a great combo.
Yeah.
So I like to do beam first and get it out of the way just because that's my preference. But we're doing Olympic order today. So we've done vault, bars, beam, and then we're heading to floor soon. I think we're going on a bye right now.
Yeah. And in the bye, will the music be bouncing? Will the LED lights be on? You guys will all be having fun, I assume. Yeah.
Oh, they better. That's how we prepare ourselves. I mean, floor is our last event. It's our best event, and I'm just really excited to see how they perform. And that is the gymnast walkout. A lot of gymnasts you'll see go into their floor routines like that. It's kind of a respect to the judges, and it's kind of just, make everything look nice. And that is a wolf 1.5. It gets you a bit of bonus on floor, and it's a pretty hard skill to get all the way around in. To round off handspring full or full twisting layout, one of my favorite passes, and I just think it looks very, very nice.
Yeah, it looks very, very clean, certainly.
It does. When executed well, fulls are just such mesmerizing passes.
What do you make of this music here? Do you like it?
Oh, wow. I was just thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's, I've heard some girls with this in the past. I like the modernization of this Christmas song. I think it's really interesting, but I also think the dance goes well. I think this is music that you need to be very dramatic with, and I think she executes that very well. Her lines are sharp, her arms are big, and that was a beautiful dance move. I really love just how this was all put together, and she does it very well. I'm sure she had a great choreographer, but it's also a lot of her to thank for, being able to pull that off. Round off handspring, handspring tuck. She got incredible height on that with just a little step out. It's a beautiful routine.
That's very nice. Is it common for you to hear repeats of songs between different teams, or does everyone have something different mainly?
Everybody, as I've seen on high school, has something different.
Cool.
There's been a time or two where people have the same music, and it's always really funny because we hear it and all of our heads whip around to look and see who's on floor. And one of our girls, Lauren, was telling us at some point she was at a meet and she was hearing a floor music and she was like, this sounds so familiar, and she had to turn to one of our other teammates, Danica, and ask whose floor music it was, and it was her own. So,
wow.
just a little funny bit, but it happens here and there. Sometimes people recycle old routines. Where I do club on my team, there's a girl named Harley who does the same routine as Peyton, because Peyton took time to teach it to her. So we like to recycle routines, especially on club. It makes it a little easier for choreographers, makes it a little easier for the coaches. They already have the music downloaded. So it happens sometimes.
Who makes up the routine? Is it you as the gymnast, or is it the coaches, choreographers, people like that?
It's left up to the gymnast, but almost always it's a choreographer. Every once in a while we'll get a dancer on the team. One of our girls, Danica, did dance for many, many years, and so she had a big part, if not did all, of choreographing her routine. But it's almost always a choreographer. If you pay somebody, you get an hour or 2 hours of their time, and they teach it to you, and then you get creative liberties from there. If you want to change something up, you're free to.
Well, look, so she's starting on the ground. What do you make of this, starting on the ground instead of in the air?
Wow, that was really a beautiful skill. I really like routines like that because I think it leaves a lot of opportunity for a lot of dynamics. I've seen her I've seen her compete before. She's incredible. I believe she's level 10. That was a front full, which very few girls do. It's a lot less common than a back full, and it's a very different feeling. Into her second pass, another front pass, front pike, front tuck, variation of the front that we saw before. Not as common, a little bit more difficult, but you still see it sometimes. You can tell she favors front tumbling.
Yeah.
Wow. Switch leap full, straddle full. Oh my god. This is really incredible. Everything's sharp and it goes together so well. I really enjoyed watching her routine the first time, and I really enjoy it now. Some gymnasts do that, because I believe that'll make this one a front pass. No, back, okay. Nice. Some gymnasts, you saw a cartwheel step in, back handspring step out, right by the line over here, which some gymnasts do to fulfill their back pass requirement, which allows them to do 3 front passes. Because some girls just really like front tumbling. I'm not one of them, but I can really respect it.
Oh well, so that must have been impressive there. as that includes Somerville's time on the floor. And we'll just check who's going next here as they'll get their time to warm up. See a lot of noise behind us. That's on beam over there, Hillsborough.
Hillsborough is a loud team typically, which is not at all a bad thing. You love to see the support, but
The louder the better, is that the case?
Yeah. There's a limit, but I think they stay behind the limit, but just they're really supportive of each other. Like I've said, is super important. So yeah, Hillsborough is kind of known for that, but I think it's good that they are. And I love seeing coaches give their girls little pep talks before events.
How important is that for the gymnast?
Depends on the gymnast. Sometimes what we do, which you might have saw over on bars when we competed, is we have the last person that competed talks to the next person up, and they give them a little pep talk, just to kind of give them a little confidence boost, and hopefully just help them feel more comfortable. I think with the coach, it does the same thing, same kind of idea, and the coach usually tends to focus on some more technical, whereas the teammate tends to focus on some more, motivation. Yeah, thank you. And so it varies, but usually either way, they're very supportive, and I think it really does help, for me at least. It's a backward roll, which is really only a high school and a certain other league move, and I think it's a really nice skill. That's her full turn right there. And I love doing backward rolls. It kind of just feels like a moment to breathe because it's usually pretty safe skill for a lot of gymnasts. That is a wolf half into a wolf three-quarter, which is not seen a lot because a wolf three-quarter is a difficult skill. You usually don't connect it to anything, but I really love that.
Was Wolf the gymnast? Is that why they call it?
No, it's the kind of jump. It's a pike jump, but one of your legs is bent. It's pretty common in this kind of gymnastics because it's a little easier than a pike and a little harder than a tuck. That was a tuck full, which is also a very hard skill. You don't see a lot of gymnasts doing that over wolf three-quarter. And a round off tuck, which is a great connection. That's a difficult dismount, and I love seeing them.
Yeah, definitely was a very nice dismount. That's Hillsborough over there on the beam. Ridge getting ready on the floor, excuse me. And it looks like we got Bridgewater Raritan going up on bars right now. So let's take a look at this bars routine. So when you do bars, do you start on the top one or the bottom one?
I start on the bottom one. That's just because bars is not particularly my strong suit. You do not see a lot of girls, especially in high school, that start on the high bar, because it means you need some kind of transition skill from high bar to low bar, which a lot of girls don't work over things like giants, which is what she's doing now, into a kip, which is not a usual connection, and a back full as her dismount, which is also something that you do not see a lot. Usually on bars, gymnasts favor double backs over twisting off bars, but it's a really cool dismount, and I hope to learn one day. I think they just look so stunning.
So floor routine now. Let's take a look at this for Ridge.
And which team is this?
This is Ridge up
This
here.
is Ridge.
Yeah. So they're up, and then Hunterdon Central they're going. Oh, there's some car music here. I like this.
It's a double full turn, which is above the requirement. You see it occasionally, but not a lot. Into a wolf 1.5. I like this routine. It's got a lot of beat to it. Round off handspring pike. And you can see this is definitely one of the gymnasts that likes that really upbeat, really high energy kind of routine. At least with her music, which I love to see. And a drastic switch. I was not expecting that. That was a front tuck, forward roll, step out, cartwheel.
Yes, Morgan Famula here. I believe this is a Coldplay song. It's The Sky Full of Stars, but the lyrics
It is.
version.
I love this song.
Yeah.
Every pass, you need 3 skills for it to count as a pass. Occasionally, you'll see somebody do 4, like with the round off handspring tucks we saw earlier. So any pass that you see, except for when you get into higher skills like a front full, that can just be on its own, that can be connected to a handspring, depends on preference of the gymnast, but you'll see all of these passes have to be through skills. And look at that floor.
Now, looking at Ridge, they obviously looks like, how many there? There's 6 people over there. You guys have a big team. Does that give you guys an advantage, you think, with the more energy it brings than the other teams?
I think it does. I think because when we did tryouts, unfortunately, we did have to make some cuts. I think with the more people trying out, the more talent you tend to see, but it really depends. I mean, all of these places are really, really talented, even, no matter the number of people they have. I like the big team just because there's a lot of people to relate to, and there's a lot of people that are there for you, and there's a person for everything, which I really love.
So Montgomery getting warmed up on bars, Somerville coming over the vault, and still, I believe Hillsborough's over there on beam. Yep, they'll just be finishing up there. How important is this warm-up period?
Well, for high school,
you only get 30 seconds, but it must be crucial, you would think.
So each girl gets 30 seconds, and it's their choice as to whether or not they want to use it. So we had 5 girls, so we got 2.5 minutes, and some girls took 10 seconds, and some girls took 40. Usually in high school meets, you don't get bump-ins, which is what this is called, where you get to warm up right before your event. Usually we just warm up and then you go to your event. You warm everything up in the beginning and then you go to your event and you compete it. But because there's so many people and we're doing buys, it's not as, easy to just go for an event. So right now in this kind of competition, these periods of warm-up are very important and they're super crucial. Not particularly as much skill-wise, but I think they just really help the gymnast feel more comfortable, which is the most important thing on this event, or mainly on any event. That is a front or a front tuck.
This is Meriden Crockett over at the Ridge. Why is it another mat here on top of the springboard? Is there a reason for that?
That is called a sting mat. It kind of absorbs a lot of the shock that the floor gives, and although the floor is matted, it is not super soft. So usually girls that use other mats, it may be if they're not super comfortable or if it's based on injury. It's really personal preference, and it just makes your landing a little softer. This is a big impact event and sport, so it's good to, cut your shins and your ankles some slack every once in a while.
Yeah, definitely.
Going into her last pass, there's a front tuck, forward roll, step out, cartwheel. You got to be really careful with your last pass. It should be your easiest pass and the one you're most comfortable with because you don't have as much energy, meaning you usually put your hardest pass at the beginning.
Yes, I was Crockett there, and now this would be my clock coming up. Clock for Ridge. So do you usually take the full 30 seconds when you warm up, or are you someone that likes to do things quicker?
It's an interesting question. I tend to warm up a lot, which I feel bad for sometimes, because I'm not trying to take anybody else's time. It does take me a little bit to get comfortable with my skills, especially if they're newer ones, and it really depends on the event. Usually I'm quicker on vault, but on things like beam and floor, it takes me a bit because there's a lot of components that go into that, whereas vault is usually just one thing.
Yeah, sure. Chloe, you need it? You can take that off. So thank you very much to Cali here, and I'm joined now by Dakota. Dakota, you're another member of this gymnastics team. And what grade are you in?
I'm a senior.
Senior, and so how you've been on this team all 4 years?
Only 3 years.
Only three. And what year did you miss? A freshman?
Yeah, freshman year.
And why did you decide to then come out for the team sophomore year?
Well, I tried out freshman year and I didn't make it, so I tried again sophomore year.
Perseverance.
Yep.
I respect that. So how long have you been a gymnast?
Like 7 years. I don't know, since I was 3, so a long time.
Yeah.
Not 7 years.
Yeah, way longer. Yeah. So how this year for you? It's your 3rd year. Well, how does it compare to the other 2 years? Is it better or worse? I mean, how much fun are you guys having as a team, and you personally this year?
We're having a lot of fun. It's one of our better years, and we're doing really good this season so far. And it's definitely better than my sophomore year because that was a COVID year. So.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah, for sure. So now you guys are getting prepared for floor. How confident are you in the 3 floor members? Callie said she was very confident.
Yeah, floor is one of our better events.
And you leave it to last because she said it's very most hype around it, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, we're very energetic on floor.
Yeah, so Rich here this is they're on before you, just finishing things up here. You had the 10-minute bye, how'd that go? Is it very relaxing? You guys get ready for floor?
Yeah, we're just getting hyped in the locker room, just getting everyone excited and stuff.
So let's take a look here at floor. Katie Shimsky going up for Ridge. What would you say is your favorite event? A lot of people seem to like floors. Are you similar?
I love beam is my favorite. It's pretty stressful, but it's very satisfying when you stick a routine.
Is beam your favorite to watch as well?
Very nerve-wracking, but yeah, I like to watch it.
And do you think beam's the most difficult, trying to stick things? Obviously a very small surface. Is it the most difficult in your opinion?
Yeah, when under pressure, it's really difficult.
I bet so. Here's this floor routine now. Floor Ridge are second to last. It's my clock for Ridge. A very nice pass there.
Stuck the landing.
What are your thoughts on this song right now?
It's cool. I can't really hear it that well.
Yeah, it's a bit low, isn't it?
He's getting ready for his second tumbling pass.
Would you say which one's the most difficult? Third because you're out of energy, probably?
It depends on the hardness of it. The first one is most likely your hardest one.
Yeah.
And that was really nice. Front handspring, front layout. Nice switch lead. And for her third tumbling pass.
So nicely done there. That might clock for Ridge. And they're down, I think, to their last two people for that performance. We look over here. Somerville on vault at the moment.
Ooh.
Do you like vault?
Yeah, I like vault. It's nice to watch.
And what do you think? Do you think beam? Would you say beam's the most difficult?
It depends on the gymnast, but under pressure, yeah, beam is probably the most difficult.
Yeah, it looks like we have Montgomery over on bars.
See if it happens anymore. I'll grab another.
Personally, for me, I don't watch a lot of gymnastics. I think.
Is this your first meet?
Yeah, it is, but I've seen some things here and there. I think bars is just, I can really respect bars with the amount of grip strength I assume it must take.
That's your favorite?
Yeah, it just looks kind of cool for the bars for me. I like the floor as well.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah. So now, floor again for Ridge as they're getting ready. Do you like the Olympian order? Is this normally how the meets go? You place all the events this way?
Yeah, my team is going vault, bars, beam, floor, which is Olympic order, and other teams are sort of mixed around.
Well, what do you prefer having first? Kind of getting beam out of the way. You like getting the hardest one out of the way. Obviously, leaving floor for last.
Yeah.
Must be nice. It's okay, Shim's getting that up for Ridge. Starting on the ground.
It's Kanye West.
Yeah, it is. We can't say the name though, can we?
That was nice.
Yeah,
Round
that
up
was
full.
really cool.
Double turn. $180, that was good.
Yes, so loads of energy here. Getting ready for the second pass. I just slipped a bit.
It was high. That was a pretty good routine. The second pass is gonna cost you points.
Do you know what the score is in terms of teams, kind of who's winning right now, or did they not tell you till the end?
Yeah, I don't know. No one knows until the end, especially for this meet.
That's a bit interesting because obviously other sports you see the scoreboard, but you guys don't know. Does that motivate you just kind of keep going because you can't have a sense of comfort because you don't really know how the teams are doing? They could be ahead, could be behind.
You could like kind of get a sense of comfort from how good your team is doing, but yeah, you don't really know how anyone else is doing, especially at Skyland, because normally there's just two teams and you could see, like, you can compare the scores on your score sheet.
And do you like the smaller meets, or do you like this big one with loads of people here, a lot of energy, a lot of people in the crowd?
I love a lot of energy. I love the whole people in the crowd, so yeah, I like these meets better probably.
I started to seem a bit extra here, a bit more on the line. Just awaiting the final performance here for Ridge. I'm pretty sure for them. Montgomery's still going on bars, Somerville on vault. And looks like, I think it's going with Hunterdon coming up to beam. Yeah.
And this should be the best routine because it's last.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Mia tomorrow up now for Ridge.
Your first tumbling pass. It's so high.
Yeah, well executed from her. Like you said, that first one's usually the most difficult when you're fresh getting out of the way.
You normally switch from back tumbling to front tumbling. So her second pass might be front tumbling. Okay, so front layout, it's pretty clean, stuck the landing. And a lot of points could come from the execution in the dance too, so it's not just all about the jumps.
Yeah, she's really going well with the beat, I was just about to say. And I'm ready for the last pass here.
She looks pretty strong going into this. It was a pretty clean routine.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
Good for Ridge.
And you were right, it was probably one of the strongest ones towards the end for them.
Mm-hmm.
And your team should be coming out shortly, as it looks like most of the events are clear. I think no one really up on Volt now. Of course, floor is getting clear, and Montgomery's still going on. The bar is over to our right.
North Hunterdon on beam.
And so here you go, this is your favorite event.
Mm-hmm. Little wobble.
Does the beam hurt? Like, it seems really hard. I'm tough on the feet.
If you land the right way, it doesn't. But if you land like on the edge, then that can hurt. Or if you slip off.
Have you had a lot of injuries in your gymnastics career up to this point?
Not really. I just have like a constant back injury, so I don't do floor or vault. So I'm just a beam and bar specialist. Looks like she's going for a switch lead. To a tuck 3/4. Stuck dismount. That'll be good for her team.
Yeah, definitely. So, door definitely going hard. I'm not sure. I think probably down to the last couple of participants for beam. And some of them are completely different leagues. I'm not sure what school, but regardless, probably floor performance. Hunterdon Central out there now getting ready.
She's some nice dance. It's pretty cool. Another handspring layout. Full. Getting ready for her last tumbling pass right now. That was clean.
That was very well executed. And then, nice routine there. Right. So no one on the bars. Beam's still going. And Volt is clear. So Victoria, Ava, and Taylor up for you guys on floor. Would you say Taylor's the strongest because she's going last? I mean,
yeah, Taylor's pretty consistent on floor. She's been bringing in some really high scores, and same with Ava. But we have high hope for floor today.
Yeah, last event, big weight on it for you guys, and of course, the energy will be there.
Yeah, we're really excited. We're gonna be screaming in the background.
So just waiting to get moving here. Let me just check the schedule I have.
And I think now they're just gonna warm up some tumbling passes.
Yeah, so Central on floor, Richard the bye. Somerville will be moving to Volt, which they just finished. Watching Hills a bye. Montgomery Bars, they just finished. North Hunterdon is on beam and Hillsborough is a bye. So everyone should be done. All eyes will be on this floor right now. give a little extra weight to it as they get their 30 seconds just to warm up.
Mhm. For Ava's first pass, she does a double full. So that's what she's trying to warm up right now.
Yeah.
She's had some trouble with it in the past, but she's pretty solid with it at practice.
How often do they practice these routines? Because obviously a lot of them compete in many events. So
Well,
must be difficult for them to kind of distribute the time evenly.
well, every day at practice, if you do all the events, you practice every single event, but you don't do full routines normally every day. But getting ready for competitions, we normally do a couple. But not right before the meet.
Yeah.
Very nice pass from Victoria. Peyton warming up for her full.
Is Peyton competing as well for you guys?
Yes.
Peyton, so 4 for you.
Well, we have 5
5.
on each event.
5
I
on each
think
event. Yeah, it's interesting. You only wrote down 3.
those are just. I think those are the 3 last ones.
3 last ones.
We're having Peyton, Lauren, Victoria, Ava, and Taylor compete on 4 today. The warm's just about over. Very nice one.
Yeah, that looks beautiful.
Just getting the mats set up, we have to draw the lines on them so we know when we go out of bounds and the judges can take off for that.
So many moving parts of this. Is it difficult for you guys? Because I know you set up the gym before everything gets going. Is it difficult for you guys to kind of move everything around, set things up?
No, we gotta have a process down. We get it done really fast now. We do it like 2 times a week.
Yeah. That's Peyton Fish starting things off for Central. As Dakota said, big thanks to Dakota for talking to us and all the gymnasts that have been here today. Florida last event, as you can see, they're all over there wanting to participate and be part of things. As she prepares for the first pass, her hardest, and that was brilliantly executed from her. Great to see all of them going through emotions with her. Of course, Peyton Fish, one of the captains of this team as well. And getting ready for the second pass. And again, exquisitely done. And final pass. Very impressive, very smooth. I think she may have stepped out, but regardless, very good from Peyton Fish. Start things off at Hunterdon Central. And good start there from her.
He's going to talk about what's happening.
So back here we're joined with another gymnast. What is your name?
Grace French.
Grace. So Grace, what do you make of that from Peyton on the first to start you guys off the floor?
That was a wonderful job. She stayed very tight. She did step out of bounds one time, but she recovered very well.
Who's this?
Up next we have Lauren.
That's the second off the Central, Lauren, as you say. And all eyes on this event, everything else is done, which I'm sure is how you guys probably want it. Big event for you guys to end things.
Yes. This is a big pass for Lauren. She's doing her full today.
Oh, she falls in the first one.
Here we have a front handspring, front tuck, front tuck.
Bit of dance, now she get ready for the third pass.
So that jump is a wolf 1.5. That's an advanced high superior. So advanced high superior jumps, you get an extra 2/10 added to your score.
Also crucial for Lauren there.
A switch leap tuck full. That's going to be a high level back to back. Okay, we're getting ready for our third and final pass. Round up handspring layout.
So brilliant done there by Lauren. And next up, I believe it's Victoria, correct?
Yes.
And would you say is floor your favorite event to watch?
I would definitely say so. There's a lot of creativity that can go into your floor routines. You can really personalize it to the way that you like to tell a story almost. You can choose your own music, choreograph your own routine. But the worst part about a meet is waiting to start floor. Once your music is going, then you're good to go. But waiting to step onto the floor and start your routine is definitely the toughest part.
Yeah, I can imagine. So Victoria lining up now for Central.
So that's your advanced high jump again, a wolf 1.5. Here's your first pass. Front handspring, front layout, front tuck. And she nailed that landing. It's going to be our high level back-to-back series. Second pass. Round off handspring full.
Yeah, very impressive for her on the second pass. And the first one as well, I heard you say.
It's another high level back-to-back series. Cat 1.5, cat 1.5. Here we go for our third pass. Front handspring, front layout.
Yeah, that looked very well done by her.
That was very clean.
That's 3 very strong runs for the Red Devils. And now Ava Suffin correct next.
Yes. It's going to be the 4th one up on floor. Each team can compete 5 gymnasts on each event. You need to compete a minimum of 3 girls for every event. The top 3 scores on each event per team go towards your team score. So if you're competing 5, then you've got a little bit of wiggle room, but you need a minimum of 3.
And you guys don't know who's in the lead right now.
We are not sure.
Yes, that's very interesting to me. Kind of not knowing where you stand, but
we're gonna find out when the girls find out.
Yeah, definitely. So, on the chalk on the mat to mark the boundaries. That's now Ava steps up as the 4th member, starting on the ground.
So that's actually a requirement on floor. It's part of the dance and creativity. You do have to be down on the floor at some point during your routine.
Yeah. So she starts, gets ready for the first pass.
That was a run-off handspring double. We go for the second pass. Front handspring, front full. We go with a switch half, tuck full. Here she is meeting that creativity requirement again by going down on the floor.
And gets up very smoothly, and for the 3rd pass.
That 3rd pass, we have a round off 1.5. So in every floor routine, there needs to be a minimum of 3 passes. We need 1 forward pass and 1 backward pass. The 3rd pass is up to the gymnast, whether she wants it to be forward tumbling or backwards tumbling. So with Ava, we just saw 2 back tumbling passes and 1 front tumbling pass.
Yeah, again, very well done. All of these have been very good. And saving Taylor for last. Is she expected to be the best one since she's going last? Is usually that how it works?
So generally with the lineups, we go with increasing difficulty within the routine. So the first girl to go on any event, she's going to have maybe the safest score or the lowest level difficulty. And as you increase up to the 5th spot on the team, then we're moving up and increasing our starting value of difficulty.
Signals to the judges and she's ready to go.
This is a very exciting night for Taylor. She's a senior. So this is her last ever Skyland Championships. First pass right off the bat. Into the 1.5.
Very well executed by her.
Switch full, straddle full. Front handspring, front tuck. There we go with another high-level back-to-back series. She's a lot of dance in her routine.
Yeah, I was just about to say, there's a lot. certainly adds to it as well. Makes it a bit better. Everyone getting into it as well.
Definitely. There's the third pass. Round off full. That was an illusion. That goes into dance as well. It's a very clean routine.
Yeah, everyone getting around here immediately. Great to see. That was beautifully done by all the red devils there. And so a good note left on Taylor at the end. So it was the last event for team. I think everyone else is done here. So I guess we just await scores now and see what happens.
All right, the moment you've all been waiting for. It's awards time, and we're going to start with our vault awards. In 5th place, from Hillsborough, Danica Zydiak.
Hang on, you gotta get your award. Come here.
In 4th place, from Hunterdon Central, Taylor Friedrich.
Our own Taylor Friedrich takes 4th place in the vault. Congratulations to Taylor, one of our captains.
In 3rd place, from Somerville, Samantha Schween. In 2nd place, from Hunterdon Central, Ava Sutton. And in 1st place, from Hillsborough, Nikki Jessup. Your 2022 Vault Top 5. Congratulations. And now your beam top 5. In 5th place, from Bridgewater Raritan, Ellie Kim. In 4th place, from Hunterdon Central, Taylor Friedrich.
Taylor Friedrich also taking 4th place. I think this was in the bars, I think he said.
Yeah, I think it was beam.
In 3rd place, from Bridgewater Raritan, Sanjana Haya. In 2nd place, from Somerville, Gabby Skrivanek. And your 2022 Beam Champion from Hillsborough, Katina Coyle. beam top 5. Congratulations.
So Taylor Friedrich so far from Central has 2 4th place finishes, both in the vault and in the beam.
And now our bars, top 5. In 5th place from Bridgewater Raritan, Ellie Kim. In a tie for 3rd place, representing North Hunterdon, Alexis Ondevic, and from Hillsborough, Jenna Ringel. Alexis Ondevic, no can game.
Early departure there, Tyler.
Yeah, interesting. Very interesting.
Alexis has left the building.
Wow.
From Hunterdon Central,
It did take a long time, but
Victoria Alani.
Victoria Oami from Central taking 2nd in the bars.
And your 2022 Bars Champion from Hunterdon Central,
Ava Sutphin, the freshman, taking 1st in the bars. So Central getting a 1st and a 2nd.
wow, yeah, both of them freshmen. Very impressive.
Beam top 5, or Bars top 5. Not distracted. And now your floor top 5. A tie for 4th place from Hillsborough, Riel Fox. And from Bridgewater Raritan, Ellie Kim. In 3rd place, from Hillsborough, Katina Coyle. In 2nd place, from Hunterdon Central, Ava Sutphin. And your 2022 floor champion from Hunterdon Central, Taylor Friedrich.
Wow, Taylor Friedrich takes 1st in the floor. Ava Sutphin 2nd. Impressive.
Your 2022 floor top 5. Congratulations. Your all-around top 5 in 5th place from Hunterdon Central, Victoria Alani. In fourth place, from Bridgewater Raritan, Ellie Kim. In third place, from Hillsborough, Katina Doyle. In second place, from Hunterdon Central, Taylor Freeman. And your 2022 all-around champion from Hunterdon Central, Ava. Here they are, your all-around top 5. Congratulations. Thank you again to all the parents and spectators who came out for the meet. Oh, we got to do team scores. We're not done yet. In 8th place, with 94.3, North Hunterdon. In 7th place, with a 96.5, Ridge. In 6th place, with a 98.75, Watchung Hill. In 5th place, with a 100.075, Montgomery. In 4th place, with a 101.35, Somerville. In 3rd place, with a 106.375, Bridgewater Raritan. In 2nd place, with a 107.75, Hillsborough. And your 2022 Skyland Conference champions with a 108.85, Congratulations, ladies.
Looking pretty good, you know. I like the whole like the watermelon. I'm so tired. I forgot what it was. Yeah, I don't think much further. Oh, pack it up as soon as we're done.
Oh, Jackie, the hammy.
It's even worse. I don't know, one thing I want on and do is like go to the gym or something. Nah, bro, I get to go to fucking marching band. I get to go something 10 times more than the next. I got it. No.
So I'm joined with Taylor Fredericks. Taylor, great performance from you. You got 2nd overall, many awards. You won as a team. I mean, what does this mean to you? What are your emotions like right now?
I'm just so happy because I love this team so much, and we've all worked so hard and put in countless hours. And this is my last time competing here at Central, and it just makes me so happy that we won.
Now, I know it's not over for you as your time here as a gymnast at Hunterdon Central, but you can see what it means for your team. can you sum up your time here at Hunterdon Central? What does it mean for you to be on this gymnastics team?
It just means everything to me because when I first got here, I just quit for my club team and I was like kind of struggling with a back injury, and now this team just means everything to me. I love gymnastics more than ever, and it just makes me so happy. Every day we're in the gym, like we're all working together, we're smiling, we're having fun, and it's just great. It's the most fun thing ever.
No, I talked to a lot of the younger members on the team throughout the broadcast, and a lot of them saying how great of a captain you are. How great does that make you feel that you've just had that impact on some of the younger members of the team, that you've really impacted their lives?
It makes me feel great because I do really try hard to include everyone and make everyone feel welcomed and just push everyone to their best.
Now, Taylor, what's next for you for the rest of this year and everything else going on?
Yeah, I gotta go.
Oh, yeah, I'll see you. Thank you. So I'm joined with Ava Sutton right now. Ava, first overall, you won the championship. What are your emotions like right now?
I just feel really happy. That's really it. I just feel happy.
Were you expecting to come in here and win everything like you did, or was it just a bit of a surprise for you?
Not really, because there's a lot of good people, good competitors out there, so I was very surprised to be up there.
So now this is your first year on the team as a freshman. Hugely impressive what you're doing. What has it meant to you, this team? How great has your experience been for your first year?
It's been very different compared to like club gymnastics, so I'm very excited for next year, and it's just been a great time with my friends and coaches. So.
Ava, thank you so much. Good luck with the rest of the season. So that'll do it for our coverage tonight on HGTV. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned. We got a lot of stuff coming up next week. Thank you so much for everyone tuning in. Thank you so much for everyone tuning in, and have a great night.